Yo guys, it's good to see your guys' faces again. Well, would you look at that? We have 2 videos in 1 week. In today's video, we're going to be doing a little bit of an editing tutorial. It's been raining and all those overcast vibes in Cape Town at the moment, so I thought why not take some photos of my garden. Because it's lockdown, we obviously can't go out at all, so the garden had to do. So in this video, I'm going to be including the preset in the link in description, so you guys can go download it there, and some of the photos as well, so you guys can test out this preset. But I'm going to show you guys how I built this preset, what was going through my mind, and ultimately showing you guys how I edited these photos in Lightroom. Alright, so let's jump into Lightroom and start editing. Alright, so here's our first photo that I took of the day. I've already created the preset. It's called Moody Greens. You just have to adjust your exposure in most cases because obviously some of us underexpose and some of us overexpose. But anyways, so this is how the preset looks off the bat. Immediately applied, just applied some exposure. But ultimately I'm super stoked on that result, but I'm just going to show you guys how I went about editing this. Alright, so the first thing we do is we pull down those highlights and we bring up those shadows just so that we can see what's happening in all the shadows. We're not going to be bumping up the whites too much because we're mostly going to be playing with the tone curve. We're going to bring that clarity up as it brings a little bit of pop, as well as some texture, as well as if you zoom in, you can actually see a lot of the texture going on. So we just want to like amplify that. Right, so now we're going to jump into the tone curve, probably my favorite tool in Lightroom. We're going to jump into the individual channels, first the red one. Now if you don't really know how the tone curve works, you should probably go watch an individual video explaining how the tone curve works. But basically, we're just going to bring that tone up. We're going to bring this a bit down, bring this also a bit down. Yes, we want more green in the photo. You also want to bring the ends up of your graph over here, as this gives that more faded effect and that more like, you know, that moody faded effect. I'm basically doing the S curve for each individual channel, as this will basically bring the same colors into the shadows and the highlights. You just want to be really careful in the tone curve. Tone curve is not about making the world of adjustment. It's just about adding that extra tone, and most people's styles are actually created within the tone curve. How you use the tone curve often results into your style. Alright, so if we do that before and after, I'm really stoked on that result so far. You want to come down to HSL color, immediately bring the green hue up, bring that saturation down, bring that luminance down as well. You'll have to adjust your exposure as you're busy editing because obviously the exposure of each photo varies. You want to bring the yellows more towards the greens, as the whole point of this preset is achieving those moody green colors. With your oranges, and if you have any other colors, you kind of want to desaturate them as well, because the whole point of this preset again is achieving those moody green colors. You want to bring emphasis towards the greens and that whole moody effect. With our split toning, I like to just add some cheeky dark greens into our highlights, once again for that moody green effect. Sharpening, this is really up to you, but I'd say bump it around to like 60, you know, make it nice and extra sharp. You're masking as well, so it just does the edges of the plant. You don't want to have unnecessary sharpening where there isn't sharpening needed. You definitely want to add some vignetting, as it adds to this moody effect. Bring that feathering up so that the vignetting is not too obvious. With your grain, this is completely optional. This photo is quite busy as it is, so I don't want to add more grain in, making it more busy, if that makes sense. With our calibration, I like to sometimes add a bit of an orange and teal effect, but for this effect, we're going to be taking away the effect that we did with the blues, and we're just going to be playing with the shadows tint. And really, all we want to do is just bring those greens up to amplify it. We're going to come back up to the basic panel, and we're going to pump that contrast a bit to darken those shadows a bit more. I'm really stoked on this so far. I'm going to come back to the tone curve, and I'm going to go to the RGB channel. Once again, it's just that basic S curve that you're trying to do. The higher you bring the end point of this graph up, the more fade you'll have. So as you can see in the photo, an extreme amount of fade, almost to the point where it doesn't really look that good anymore. If you are new to Lightroom, the tone curve can seem super intimidating, but all you need to do is watch a couple YouTube tutorials on how to use the tone curve, and I promise it'll become like an afterthought. If we do the before and after of the tone curve, that difference is absolutely insane. I'm so happy with the result. I think we are basically done. I'd bring the whites a bit down, bring the blacks a bit down as well. And if we hit before and after, I'm so stoked with that. That is awesome. Now we're going to press Command C or Control C on Windows. This is going to copy the preset. We're going to go to our next photo, which is this one. We're going to press Command V or Control C on Windows. This will paste the preset. Off the bat, I'm so stoked on this photo. I'll just bring the exposure up just so that we can brighten the area here in the front. Although the whites are quite blown out, so I'd bring the whites down, bring the shadows a bit down, bring those highlights a bit down, exposure up, blacks down. Off the bat, I'm so impressed with that, and that's the power of a preset, making your workflow just so much more efficient. Our next photo is this photo. Once again, Command V. Off the bat, it is really dark. We're going to bring up that exposure, but we want to bring the whites down. Awesome. I'm stoked on that. Sick. I'm so stoked on this preset. I love those Moody effects, especially it being winter now. This is our next photo. I'm really stoked with this photo because you can actually see all the droplets, and if you even zoom in as well, you can see all the droplets. Command V again to paste that preset. Look at that. Once again, bring your exposure up. Oh, that is beautiful. I like that a lot. Anyways, once again, we're just going to move on. So here is some lavender for you. Command V again, that baby. Absolutely, I love this. Just going to frame it a bit better so that the lavender is in the center. One thing with lavender and with plants as well is some plants have different colors. So obviously purple is a different color to green. So you want to come down here to your magenta and your purples. You want to bring more emphasis towards that purple. You really want to bring more emphasis to that because that'll actually draw the viewer's attention towards the plant. And then I grabbed one of the mirrors from our sitting room and I put it in the garden. Hopefully my mom won't find out. And I got this pretty sick, edgy looking photo. Once again, Command V that baby. It's a bit dark, but we're going to bring the exposure up. Once again, it's very green now and very blue. It takes away from the skin tones again. Once again, we're just going to bring up that temperature to yellow. For now, it won't do anything. As well as down here, our split toning, switch it off because as you can see, it brings like a really green onto the skin tones, which makes you look almost like sick, like that sick emoji. I'm going to switch that off. We're then going to come back up to our yellows. We're going to bring them more towards the orange. Already our skin tones look so much better. Saturation, bring that up as well. Otherwise, I'm really stoked with this. I'd bring down the clarity and I'd bring down the texture because it's destroying the skin here on the sides. I'm going to bring up the saturation of the greens. Just brings a little bit more emphasis towards the greens because you don't want the greens to completely disappear on the side. But I think the most what I'm going to be changing is the calibration. I feel like it's way too green at the moment. Bring the greens down a bit, the reds as well. Actually, I like it more towards there, I'd say. Yep. Our green primary, we do want to keep the green, so we're going to pop that around over there. And yeah, before and after. I'm really stoked with that edit. Alright, so after some minor adjustments in the basic panel, this is how I'd edit this photo, applying the Moody Greens preset. Once again, that preset is in the link in the description. It's available for desktop.xmp and it's available for mobile.dng. You're more than welcome to download it, as well as some of these photos, and test out the presets. I hope you guys were able to learn something from today's video. If you did, let me know in the comments. Check out my Instagram, and I'll check you guys in the next video. Thanks for stopping by. Cheers.
Thank you.